Last time I was in New Hampshire, in northern New Hampshire, I was told by political and business leaders there that 25% of the children in northern New Hampshire go to sleep hungry at night. We have millions of American children who go to schools and classrooms where they don't even have the adequate school supplies with which to teach a child to read. And if a child cannot learn to read by 8, the chances of high school graduation are drastically decreased, and the chances of incarceration are drastically increased. We have millions of American children who have a form of PTSD that psychologists say is no less severe than the PTSD of a returning veteran from Afghanistan and Iraq. Their despair has simply been normalized by the political establishment. There's a reason for that, because they're not old enough to vote, so they're not a constituency. They're no more useful to the political establishment than they are to a predatory form of capitalism. So, because how do they serve it? So whether it's young people or whether it's old people, they just get kind of dropped by the wayside. They're not old enough to work, so they have no financial leverage, so how can they possibly compete with the clout of the corporate forces whose money dominates Washington? We should be rescuing these children no differently than if they were the victims of a natural disaster. And if I'm president, that's why I want an entire Department of Children and Youth to coordinate all the efforts. We need more. This is more than educational funding, which obviously we need. It's more than universal preschool, which obviously we need. But we need community wraparound services. We need nutrition. We need to deal with the child poverty, child hunger. We need to deal with anti-bullying. We need to deal with trauma-informed education. We should have mindfulness in the schools. Ladies and gentlemen, the very fact, and everyone else, the very fact that we base our school funding primarily on property taxes is so immoral. And this needs to change. This needs to change. Because if you're a country that's the richest country in the world, which we are, and you are withholding education from anyone, that is a passive form of oppression. And remember what I said about revisiting our first principles. What about all this, God gave all men inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? These children are not having their right to pursue happiness secured.